Hey, what's up you guys, Street Trader FX here, back with another video. So yeah, as promised, we have to break down GBPUSD that we had from last week. So we're basically going to be doing a higher time frame, like a top-down analysis, just to go straight to the setup that we had. So we need to find out, I need to show you how I found the setup. So what I do, I start from the monthly. I start from the higher time frame rather, not the monthly. So what I saw was that we had equal lows here. We took them out, which is this one and this one, right? And then after that, I looked for targets in a way. So my targets were just these highs, or just these highs here, right? But they're very far at the moment. So fine, let's start here again. So basically what I did, I identified these lows here which were taken out here, right? And then we broke this swing high here. We broke this swing high. So breaking this swing high, what does it mean to us? It signals bullishness, right? So we have to trade back somewhere in order for us to find support. So we have this area right here. This the monthly demand, right? But then we have an imbalance within the monthly demand. So we're just going to adjust it to the low of the imbalance, and then the high of the imbalance is this. It's at the low of this candle because the imbalance starts here and ends here, right? So fine, since we find that, we can see that if we had to use stops from here, that would be very huge. And you saw on the live session that we had, on the session, the Zoom session actually, we were talking about this area where the market, it's doing this thing, the market, let me do this. I want to show you something real quick. When we discussed that, we had this candle, the market traded above right here, and then closed here, right? The market closed here, and then when this candle opened, it came back to close the gap from the close of this candle to the high of this one. The gap is right here. The market came back and closed it and then pushed high, right? So fine, since all we established that we have price action from this high and this low, I'm just going to move my area to here, where I'll be looking for price action for longs, right, to target these areas. So we'll go down to the weekly. Shit, what did I do? So from the weekly chart, targets are still the same, right? But then what I saw was that remember that we're anticipating short-term bearishness, right? At the moment, we're seeing it as short-term bearishness because we have these highs that we have to target. But if you look at these highs properly, if we start looking at these highs properly, we can see that we took out this high, we broke this low, right? We broke this low here, but then this candle right here, this one is a breaker. So you can see if we extend it, we trade it back into that breaker. It might be partial, but we did trade back to it, and then that's where we started to see resistance, rather not bearishness, resistance to go lower. So fine, after establishing that, I then remember this, the area that we had from the monthly and then now I'm just moving it to this candle, since it has a swing low, right? And I'm also going to identify other areas where there are imbalances, and we can see this one here. We can see this area right here. Let me do this. We don't want to move it too far. You can see that we have this area right here. Have this area, and we also have this one here as well. We also have this one as well, right? And then this is just the monthly zone that we had. We traded back, and this is the breaker area that we traded back into the low of the breaker. So we're going to go to the daily. What time is it now? We're already 6 minutes in. What the hell? You can see we traded back nicely into that area, the breaker area, from the weekly, and we took out this high right here. So after taking out this high, before we traded back into an area of resistance, we had a last higher low here, which you had to trade back to, right? So I know that some of you are looking at this area, right? Let's go back to the monthly just to refresh our minds. Remember, from the monthly, right, you want to see price trading to this high, right? So if we are on a daily and we want to see price respecting the monthly area, and you can see, I know that some of you do see this area. Some of you are looking for support from here, but since we haven't, it's not within the daily, the monthly zone that we want to see price trade into. I would not be interested in longing from here. I would be interested in shorts, because we can easily trade through this, since we have the monthly area that we're looking to trade to, right? So just gonna move this to the area which has the recent swing low, which is this one. And then how I'm going to look at this, or how I actually looked at it, was that we have these equal lows here, like this. Let me just extend it out a little bit further. So in this area, I won't be refining it. Oh shit, my neighbor's chickens are starting now. So I think I should just have them for breakfast, guys. Like, I don't want to lie, they're making noise. Who keeps food outside? That's food. Just listen to them. I wonder what they're saying anyway. So yeah, let's continue. Let's not be distracted. So as you can see, we traded into that weekly breaker, right? And we took out this daily swing high. So fine. That, for us, looking at the structure as well, remember, this is the monthly zone that we need to trade back into before we push higher, and just above it we have these equal lows, right? And yeah, so it means that we are short-term bearish and then long-term bullish should we find support, because if we trade through this, then I would be looking to hold the shorts that I have. So since all the daily has already been established that we're bearish, we'll go to the 4-hour. And I'm just doing this as a breakdown of how I looked at it at that time before the shorts, before the short, yeah, actually. So you can see this the monthly zone, right? We have this swing low right here. We're just gonna move this area to this recent swing low. Why the swing low? Why am I using the swing low? Because, where is this thing? Because before we pushed higher, we had this low here, right? We broke below it, and then in here we had a structure. We broke this high. We broke this high, right? We broke it, and then we came back to close this imbalance here. We closed it, and then we pushed higher, right? So this is the new swing high, the new higher low. So that's why we're using it. So looking at the new refined area, we can see that we have an imbalance again within the zone that we had starting from the monthly. So I'm just gonna use up until the imbalance is filled. So fine, we're bearish. I would say we are bearish up until here, right? And also up until price shows us a willingness to go higher. So at the moment we're just bearish. So fine, let me do this, don't want to mess it up. So you can see that we already broke the structure here on the H4. So we'll go to the H1 and look at how I got the entry, or we got the entry, because it was sent to you guys as well. So we'll go to the 2 hour first. So on the 2 hour, nothing much. On the 2 hour, nothing much. 1 hour. So when I got here into the 1 hour, right, you can see that price didn't really tap here. It didn't really tap that area. So when I got into the 1 hour, I then saw that, okay, fine, price traded above these equal highs here, and then after that it broke the structure here. So what did this signal to me? Since all we traded above equal highs here, we made a low, we tried to take out this previous high, we failed. This is now a shift in market structure. This is a shift in market structure. We break lower here. We could not come back here to test this up candle. Maybe we did. Let's see. Let me mark this low. We broke below here. We almost came back to retest it, right? But we didn't. It's not really important. So fine. After seeing that we had this behavior right here, I then zoomed in. I was like, okay, we just broke the structure here. We made another one here, and then we broke it again. Sorry. We broke it here, right? I was like, fine, we have created this imbalance here. I have to close it. I then marked the high of the imbalance, and the low of it was here. So obviously my focus is going to be at the high, because that's where I'm expecting a reversal. So I marked the high of it, and then to the high of this candle for me to start looking for shorts, to start looking for reasons to shorts, rather. Too short, actually, sorry. Not too short. It's actually 4 a.m. my time, I think. Almost 4 a.m. So yeah, let's break it down now. Let's be serious. So after seeing that we had the imbalance from the low of this candle to the high of this one, which I wanted to see price closing, right? I then went to 30-minute chart. I didn't really see anything interesting. because when I go to the lower time frames, I'm just looking for areas where I can set my stops. So when I got to this time frame, I saw that, we have this candle right here, so I might as well just use this one. So fine, I marked this candle out, and then on the M5, I was like, fine, here on the M5, and I'll change the color so that you can see, because this is either going to be useful to you or confusing if you're not paying attention. So this the M15 zone, right? That's the M15 zone. So I was like, fine, this area right here, we have to trade back to it, and price was somewhere around here, right? I was like, fine, we have created equal highs here, which will give us another reason to look for short. So I was like, when I'm zooming in, we have two areas of imbalances, which is the one starting here and the one which is above this one. And the reason why I didn't use the one above here for entry was because this one was the first one that we had to trade to. So if I was looking to short here, I would have missed the trade on Friday. So usually when you have to choose an area when you have two areas where you expect to find entry from, use the first one and then reduce your risk. So I was like, fine, I identified the areas where I'm looking to enter, and then I refined the area for entry to here, and then initially my stops would have been there, right? Would have been there. But I was like, fine, this is what I'm seeing now. I'm seeing this high right here, it was taken out, and then also we broke below this low. Let me do this. We broke below this low. So this candle right here, I then marked it as a breaker. And then I was like, fine, if this is a breaker, then I would be interested in using the high of it to set my stops in order to have a higher risk to reward ratio. And then my target was actually this low right here. So this was around 1:8R, just targeting this low alone. I think it was 1:8R if I'm not mistaken. I think, which one did I use? We'll just find out when I have to mark out the R's. But so I was like, fine, I'm going to use the low, this one right here, where the imbalance would be filled, and then the high of the breaker for the stops. So you can see on this broker, it didn't really do anything. It didn't fill the orders. Yeah, I think it was one somewhere around there, 1:8R. I think maybe it was this low. Let me see. Had to be 1:8R. Yeah, maybe this low. Let's see. Oh yeah, it was this low. I remember because of this move. So that was how I looked for the trade. And then I did mention on the chart that I sent to the group that I might hold for lower prices if I see momentum building. So you can see it did run lower, up until 1 is to 15, I think, or more. Yeah, up until 1 is to 15. So on this chart, it's currently 1 is to 15 still. But yeah, let me show you on the one that we took. You see, this is the entry that we had from here. So this is, yeah, let me open here and show you. So it's the end, the setup. You can see this the area that I marked out for entry, and the stop loss was based on the breaker, as you can see. So I hope it makes sense now when you're looking at the chart. Hope it makes sense now, because you can see it was a really clean trade. Still holding for lower prices based on the higher time frame though. So yeah, I hope this was very helpful, and yeah, I'll see you on another one. Peace.